you off the, at the report one of you, we made 248 calls for service month in June, which put us from January 1 to June 30th at 1,515 calls for service for the year. It's almost, that just takes us over 3,000.
We're paying somebody's salary.
Increases every year.
Yeah.
And if you're ever very sick, time that people talk to, everybody.
Let's see where it's happening in here under privileged kids.
He gave me this out there. He gave me this out there.
Sooner or later, them numbers ain't gonna match. And like him, well, not to be
It's
fair,
underneath there.
not people gotta be certified before you hire them. And where you can
Go down there 2 or 3. No, it's above that.
And I understand we can't pay salary wise, but I mean, that's something we gotta look at as well. If we want to provide services, but it's hard to find. Other than that, I did have one part-time personnel like hiring Michelle Irwin as an EMTA.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Coyle?
Yes.
Unanimous.
That's all I have for now, unless you all have any questions. But one other thing, I guess, right now, as you all know, we're gonna leave the trucks running, some will go somewhere because it is so hot. Because it takes so long to cool them off, and then when you shut them off, we use that in the hospital before they cool off. We get a lot of patient complaints. So if you see them sitting and running right now, that's the main reason.
Another reason being, it does, if you turn them off, they do, the back still runs and it runs the batteries down. A lot of people say, why you leave your ambulance running all the time? Well, there's a reason for that. So, I mean, it's not that they are just wanting to waste fuel, it's to keep from ruining your batteries.
There's
And
a lot of electrical stuff in those things.
Yeah.
It was 200 amp alternator on it. You don't have 200 amps coming in fast. So, I mean, it takes a lot to catch them up.
exactly.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Rob. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you. That's a nice report.
It's one of our favorites. One of our favorites. Thank you.
And may go on the top 10 list.
Yes.
Kay's not here. You know anything about animal shelter, Larry?
She said everything's fine. She's actually out of town today, but I called her. And other than the heat and having to deal with that, everything's going fine.
Terry, looks like you've been busy.
We've been busy. We had office traffic was 481. Marion County was 456 at their career center, and then Washington County's, we're still trying to grow Washington career center because it's kind of back into the tax year or so. We've been opening up Springfield Career Center every Monday, so it has increased to 26. It was 0 at times when people did not go to the career center in Springfield, so the word's getting out. It will increase. And then as you can see, the different counties that attend our career center, it's growing, different counties. And then we're having job fairs a lot. We're going to have a bunch in July. And then we'll be working with the schools. Of course, we work with the Marion County Extension Service. We do workshops. We've been really busy. People are figuring out that it's time to go back to work. It's just they need a little push and confidence. And some of them just have low self-esteem. So when their work requirements with the SNAP program, it's going to, they're coming in now. So hopefully things will increase more in the next few months. Do you have any questions or anything about the research?
The SNAP program is currently, yeah.
They supposed to do 20 hours a week, work 80 a month, and some of the people that are on SNAP are doing less than 20 hours, or they're not doing anything. And it's able bodies right now. They have not touched the ones with children yet, but right now that's what we're doing in the government right now, is trying to get the able bodies or single parents or just single. They don't have any children. I'm sorry. A male or female with no children. They're supposed to do 20 hours a week work requirement.
Does this work, is it like a volunteer or a paid position or?
It's supposed to, well, we're trying to make sure they go into a paid position.
Right.
But, as you know, people, they'll say, when you do training, go volunteer, but we're pushing, training, mostly pushing employment first and training second, or if they don't have their high school diploma or GED, you push that immediately.
Sounds good, thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you,
Thanks
Terry.
for coming. Under old business, new business, review $10,000 contribution to the Marion County Public Schools for fiscal year 2017-18. There's a list in here of what they have used the money for.
What's a youth league custodian?
That's for the Little League basketball. They're required to have a person on staff that's employed by the Board of Education to be able to do that. I think it's one of the requirements.
That's what I was thinking, it's supposed to be employed by the Board of Education. Why are we paying it?
Well, that's what it cost them extra to keep those gyms open. That's an extra expense. That was a couple years ago. We were in possibility of not even allowing us to use
Yeah.
those, period. I mean, they wouldn't let us use the gyms, and that would ruin your youth program. So they've used these funds to do so, to keep those programs going. We have about 300 youth league basketball players a year, so
That's,
Are using it for some organizations though, so
yeah.
the FFA and Beta, HOSA.
by the way, that youth league custodian, I would take it, that's just not one facility, that's multiple facilities.
That's multiple facilities. Yeah, that's
What about
Glasscock and Lebanon Middle and St. Charles. And there's 3 different gyms they typically use for that.
The DARE program, don't we donate to that anyway or fund that? Is that a,
We funded it 2 schools, Calvary and West Marion, same 2 schools. That, because I'm not sure who this was.
what school they fund that for? I might have to clarify that, probably something different, but I know we do some different.
If you got any questions on that, or
Is that like part of, don't they furnish the uniforms just send
it looks like
blazers,
it was for,
something extra?
I don't think they furnish a lot. I've been involved in things, St. Charles Middle School and places where I know Mr. David Furlong, God bless his soul, he's gone now. He hit me up several years ago for some uniforms for the boys.
I'd like to see some underprivileged kids supported on here, but it's not in here.
I'm just curious, is the boys basketball just as at the high school, the middle school,
I'd say it was high school if I was guessing. Blazers would probably be when they go on road trips.
I don't understand why they send them up here to us. They say go to fiscal court.
Well, I think there's two types, for example, FFA, Beta, HOSA, those are all school-sanctioned organizations. In other words, the Board of Education acknowledges that that's an actual school-sponsored or school-sanctioned organization. What we see a lot here are the groups that are not school-sanctioned, such as, whether it be, the Bow and Arrow Club or whatever it might be. But that's what we see come here, because they technically don't qualify for these funds, since we're giving them to the Board of
They're
Education.
actually not school-sanctioned sports, are they?
Right. Well, for example, I'll give you a prime example is middle league softball, or little league middle school baseball. Even though it's a middle school sport, it's not a sanctioned sport by the Board of Education. So they go out, they do volunteer activities, raise money, have bakes and so forth, and then that's what we see coming back here. Okay.
Yeah, well, we're doing all over the county, all these little parks and places we support, it's basically the same thing.
Right. Oh yeah.
And I'm sure if we have a question about how it's spent or change the way it's done, I mean, it's up to us whether we decide the way it's done. So, if you all want to look at that and change it, it's what we need to do.
Yeah, because in all sincerity, it's kind of it's really a big circle, because just like with the youth league custodian, If the Board of Education doesn't pay that, or through this, then what's going to happen is that the Youth League
Have to pay it.
board members are going to show up here, and they're going to say, hey, look, we need some help paying this so we can have these schools.
Exactly.
So it's kind of it's a circle, so.
It is, it really is. But we asked them to provide us a list, so that's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you all look at it, if you want to change it, just let me know, and we'll see what we can make happen.
They've done their part.
That's right. They provide it where they spend it.
Talking about the school board and things. Of course, the school system has kind of changed in the last year. All the centralized places. Out of St. Charles, the back entrance used to never be used. Now people pick up back there.
Are you talking about where the old elementary school was,
Yeah.
by the church?
Yeah, when
coming
you
up
go
that way?
inside the church.
Yeah.
That road is a nightmare. I don't know who got to pick it up or who can afford to pick it up. But now, that little strip back to there, somebody's at the school board or somebody's got to do something with it. I don't know.
Do they utilize that now?
Yes.
So when you're picking up, you come in and out, and you come under the
They
back
pick
way?
up children back behind the school now back in there.
And for the football and everything, they also use that road.
Well, there's no football now, but
There is none down there.
no, that's all.
That's right, they've moved all
But,
that around.
but there's a lot of traffic on it. It was bad enough when it was just, like, say, football and small crowds, but now it's a road that people use, and it's a mess.
There's no way they can go beside, come off their main parking lot and go, I mean, it's a kind of ditch, or you do with that whole,
I don't know if it would cost as much to go around the school and make that loop as it would be to fix the road. I don't know.
Well, you're talking about, Larry, you talking about where the gymnasium is, come off where Bob
parking-
Daniel lived, right in that
the
area?
parking lot there.
And
just-
come off and come
or
around?
just, instead of going all the way down to the church, and coming all the way up, it's a big loop, big long,
It's probably 2/10 of a mile,
The old road?
the old road.
Yeah.
They'd put a lot more traffic in the front entrance of the school, though, if you did that,
yeah. Yeah,
versus going on down it. That eliminates a lot of traffic.
it does, yeah. And it might be the best, I just know seemed like it's a roundabout way to get there, but they might need it for all these, everybody comes, picks up kids, so they got traffic, all kinds of,
They're out on the highway blocking it.
I was talking to Miss Mann a while back, and she mentioned that it was used a lot now, and could we or someone do something with it?
I do know it's rolled up, the garbage truck used that, and it's rolled up pretty bad back there in one spot, but
Yeah.
Right in the middle there.
Yeah, it's basically abandoned, really.
When we
And
be able to
when
take
they,
the boom
when
mower
they
and
changes
anything
all the
back
schools
there and
around, they use it now.
run it through and kind of bush hog that back some, or would that be allowed?
Well, you're getting on a
I know,
slippery slope here,
Not a county road.
it's not a county
No.
road.
school board.
not a county road. That's what I'm saying, somebody.
Well, it sounds like what,
You get that somebody.
yeah, it sounds like what needs to happen is that the board, in all sincerity, the board or the school needs to address it with the board and get some ideas in regards to what the board is willing to do or what direction they're willing to take, and then move from there, because I don't think we can provide them any answers without,
No, I don't-
until they have
They should
answers
at least be able
themselves.
to mow.
I just wanted to bring it out to the light that it is bad and
Gotcha.
someone needs to address it.
Are you saying that should be the board, is it?
I think it should be the school system, board or someone.
I agree.
I don't think it's a fiscal court issue.
Excuse me. That,
It's not
on
great.
this list on the money, I'm fine with it, whatever, but I would just like them to clarify, like the DARE program, which schools they actually fund that for. And the same way with the boys' basketball Blazers, if that goes just to, it might do it, but this list doesn't really say.
Well, there's a written reason for that, as far as I'm concerned. I'm glad you said that. If we see where it goes, we can see if it goes the same place all the time instead of get spread out. And I think it should be spread.
Maybe change each year a little bit to
Yeah.
different
Like
groups.
the soccer supplies, whether that goes just to the high school soccer or to all they got middle school soccer too, or I don't know. Just maybe itemize where it goes, to which schools or how much, a little more clarification. The other ones, it pretty much straight up where that all goes, but,
Okay. Good deal.
I'm fine with it, but it's just a little clarification on where it actually, which schools benefit from it.
Next item is, consider approval of additional bill to replace backflow preventer at EMS in the amount of $894.28. I think, Robbie, they just put that in, last Thursday or Friday?
Been waiting on it over a year to get it done.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Eller?
Yes.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Coyle?
Yes.
Unanimous.
I also want to discuss, if y'all come in the front of the building or rode through by the front of the building, Larry Smith has got 2 lifts out front. And Jimmy's, do you have a truck out there yet? It looks like we're going to go ahead and remove the front columns starting tomorrow. I know you talked to him a little bit this morning today, and
Start in the morning, take them down.
I don't think they crumbled like he thought they were going to as far
Oh,
as.
was there?
Yeah.
Pretty tough.
Yeah, I think it's a little more coming out in bigger pieces than he expected, but they were up there
How long
looking.
will it take him to get those down, you think?
I don't know.
Not sure.
Depending on how big a piece
Well, like
comes
you
out
said,
at the
they
time,
didn't come down
John.
in the pieces we thought they were going to come
Depending on
down.
how big the pieces are, buddy.
That
Yeah,
might be
that's
a
true.
good, that might be a good video for somebody to take,
Yeah.
I don't know, but it
Oh.
could be interesting.
So now, after he takes them down, though, they're still inside there, correct? Steel support? So
Yes.
those steel supports will remain, correct?
We will be able to reopen the front of the building at that time,
Awesome.
so,
Or
yeah.
cosmetic or whatever.
Gotcha. Awesome.
Stanley was gonna take a sledgehammer and kind of do like they do on those silos, wasn't he?
Yeah. just knock
Start at the
bottom
bottom
out.
and just,
That would be a good time to have a camera.
Just want to let people know that they're on the way down, so. I do have one more item to open bids for the remount. Robbie, you want to open this up for the remount of the ambulance, new ambulance? You want me to do it, or you want to do it?
Go ahead.
Looks like we got one bid here. Select Tech, does that sound right?
Select that.
have they done one before for us?
They done the last.
In the last, everything was good with it?
Yeah, we've had a couple of issues, and they've been right on everything attached.
Remount your supplied ambulance module on your supplied F-550 chassis for $68,075 is what the bid is. It's got all the specs here, Robbie.
Is it pretty much the same as our last one, or is it?
But we had the chassis on the last one.
Yeah.
It's gonna be actually cheap.
That's what I was thinking, it was less than what the last one was.
Is that the only bid you have on?
That's the only bid that we have.
If y'all need to look through it, make sure it meets your specs or whatever.
To prove it as long as it meets the specs that they.
Second.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Eldon?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Coyle?
Yes.
Unanimous.
And that's all I got. Does anybody else have anything?
All right, we got,
That village on the pages last month, that we get back to the numbers didn't add, as John Arthur was saying, and he talked to John.
Yeah, that was the reason being, John Arthur explained to that last meeting, and typically whenever there's a call to dispatch, it's called out by, they call 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 different, they're counting every one of them.
Right,
So
because
that-
they actually, which makes sense, because actually when, when you think about it, for example, let's say that the fire department's called, whatever fire department it might be, you think, well, they're just paging out the fire department, but as you well know, or EMS or whatever, it very well could lead to the rescue squad, could lead to the utilities being called to pull utilities, could be
They count each time.
obviously anytime they have any incident, for every incident, any agency they have to reach out and touch in behalf of that incident is considered a call, which I can understand that. I mean, because it's taking up their time, it's taking up their, their resources, so. And if you stop and think about it, very, very rarely is it a situation where there's just one agency called and that's it. Might be the sheriff's office every now and then, but other than that, I'm sure EMS has rescue, has stat flight, has who knows who, so, but that's it.
What about the sirens? Are they working now?
Lori?
At the last meeting, I think there was a couple that were still under question whether they were working or not, so.
Yeah, and I think they were getting some, I think they were researching some parts to, I think an amplifier and something else.
Barrel switch was having trouble with theirs. Something about the board in it. It had
Yeah.
orange.
And I will,
St. Joe was having RF interference.
yeah,
Interference on it, and they remounted it, I think, and we haven't really heard back since if they've retested or not, I don't think.
I believe they were tested and it still didn't pick up.
yeah. I know, for example, the boards and so forth, those things take forever to get here. So, I mean, it's, unfortunately, it's an old system. And the other thing is that when you order those parts, it's not, they don't have them on the shelf. It's not like running to Walmart and picking them up, so it takes a while, so.
Yeah.
I want to remind everybody of the Raywick Homecoming Saturday as well. I think they'll be serving food from 4 to 8. Be a really good meal.
Are you cooking?
Y'all come out. Well,
Are you
yeah.
cooking?
You pouring tea?
No.
Me and pay the bill.
No, he cooks. He imported tea.
Okay, man.
You gonna pay the bill. Most to pay the bills with additions if there are any.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Quill?
Yes.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker? Yes. Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Unanimous.
I do have one thing. Kevin, I've got some money now, don't I? Thank you. Means a lot. Fireworks display, Loretta. I'd like the court to allow me to donate $1,250 to that cause. It is a great fireworks display. If you go down and see it, it's nice.
Second.
Just a minute, we got a little bit more.
You got more,
Calm
I'm sorry.
down.
You got more?
He reloaded.
I can't load it, things not there. The little youth league down there, I want to give $260 to that for some awards and things at the end of the season. And the beautification committee, $155 to that, and it all goes to the city of Loretta, they'll reimburse.
Second.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Quill?
Yes.
Unanimous.
And really, it is a really nice fireworks display. They've come a long way in the last 2 or 3 years on it. Last year, I thought it was phenomenal.
Is it the Larry Hawkins
Yeah.
fireworks display?
Actually, Thunder's come down and asked a few questions about, kind of pick that game up a little.
Okay. Did you say MTA?
Indeed.
MTA.
Second.
Remind everybody of the Marion County Fair this week is going on as well.
That's right.